Recycling?
Only non-hazardous petroleum contaminated soil will be accepted.
Oh, so this is all like soil that's got oil and stuff in it. All right. Oop. Do they make bricks out of the soil or something? It's weird. All those bricks right there. This must have been the office for the yeah. Watch out for the screws and nails. Oh, they make a little wall out of that stuff too. Ugh. Bird nest up there. There's the bathroom. Oh, clothes gone. Equal opportunity employer. It's the law.
Space savers. Talking about waiting jobs.
I guess where they hang their coats or something there. Alright. Pair of pants. Alright. Oh, here we go. This is just like a storage room. Got a big old nest up there. Nothing in it. Holy. Boots.
And boxes, really, pretty much it. I think this is a regular storage of files.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on here. Well, that was exciting. That was exciting.
All the swamp cooler.
All right.
And once they got it, just here or there, they didn't really need this.
Yeah. Probably weren't making any money. I need some petroleum bricks. Yeah. Huh. It almost looks like they're made out of asphalt, see? Interesting.
Maybe they added the soil with asphalt.
Yeah, they're kind of brittle.
Looks like an entire, all of it fell over and it just
Yeah.
sat here.
That one's got old tiles in it too. Yeah.
Definitely.
Huh. All right.
Probably just got the duck under here.
Yeah. I think that's what me and Tim did last time. I think this is where we came through last time. All right. All right.
I'm gonna lift it up.
There we go. All right. Now we just have to head up the hill. your eyes open for rattlesnakes. There it is. Foxtails?
No. One.
Okay. Well, this is the grave of Samuel McCullough, native of Scotland. Died July 15th, 1903, age 55 years. I looked online for information. The only thing I found was a death announcement that he passed away in McKittrick. It's down the road here. Apparently he had been drinking heavily, according to the coroner's report, since July 2nd. And a couple days before he died, the town of McKittrick ran him out of town. Took him about 6 miles outside of town to get him away from the liquor, hopefully sober him up. Apparently it didn't work because like a day later, after they ran him out of town, they found him. He apparently was having seizures and he just died. 55 years old. There was a gentleman by the name of Bandittini, fairly prominent McKittrick hotel owner, saloon owner. He had cattle, oil leases, fairly well off, pretty well-known guy around here. He's the one that telegraphed Bakersfield, had the coroner Mullins came out, did his findings, said he died of the effects of alcoholism. Mr. Bettini's wife is the one who requested a coffin be sent out to McKittrick so they could bury him. The coffin was sent out and they buried him here on the top of this hill. And this is where he sits. And if you're driving this way on Highway 58, headed out towards Carrizo Plain, Santa Margarita, out that way, if you're headed west, you don't really notice it. But if you're driving east and you look up on the hill, you can really see the wrought iron fence really well from the road. It's a little bit of a hike up here. You have to cross under some barbed wire, as you've seen in the video. But yeah, that's the grave of Samuel McCullough, native of Scotland. Now, the first time I saw this grave, a friend of mine brought me out here to see it, and we brought a little spray bottle and a sponge. We cleaned the grave off, got the bird poop off of it, cleaned off the headstone, made it look real nice, but we didn't bring anything like that today. All we brought was submarine sandwiches from Subway. We're probably gonna eat after this. Go find someplace shady to have a little bit of a picnic. There's more interesting stories about this Bandittini guy that I found while I was reading through the old newspaper articles. Stay tuned. All right, as promised, I'm gonna give you the rest of the story of Alessandro Bandittini. He's the person that told the authorities when Samuel McCullough passed away, and it was his wife who arranged for the coffin to be delivered, arranged for it to be buried up on that hill. So I started reading through the newspaper archives, and a little bit of history about Bandittini. Originally, he was born in Italy. He came to Chicago when he was a child with his parents when they immigrated to the United States. Eventually, he made his way out here to the West Coast, and eventually he came to what was to be Kern County. he went to work for Miller and Lux Cattle Company and settled right here in what would become McKittrick. At the time, it was the little settlement was called Asphalto. He was the first settler. He built the first building here, which was the headquarters hotel. Had a saloon because all these oil field workers, oil was a brand new industry out here, and you know, after work they like a place to unwind. So what better place than a saloon? So as he went on about his business, he started an oil lease. He started making money off of oil. He made money off of running cattle. He was a rancher. He was pretty well to do. He's what they called back then a capitalist. Anyway, I assume that the headquarters hotel is where the saloon was located, that they kicked Samuel McCullough out of after he'd been on a two-week bender. And they took him 6 miles outside of town. I don't know which way they took him. Whether they took him south towards Taft, or north, or east towards Bakersfield. It wasn't clear. But anyway, fast forward 2 years from when Samuel McCullough died to September 19th, 1905. There was a gentleman by the name of William Barnes, and him and a friend were trying to help a Chinese man who had been drinking, who was fairly intoxicated, trying to help him home. And Bandittini wanted no part of that. He was getting really upset that they were making this man leave his bar. Apparently this man was a good paying customer, and well, he got into a fight with Barnes, and him and Barnes fought. Barnes ended up getting the better of Bandittini. Bandittini ended up getting hit upside the head. He got a big gash on his lip. Everything was said and done. William, they called him Bill, Old Bill. Bill Barnes helps Bandittini back into his saloon, and he said that if Bandittini ends up seriously injured, that he will turn himself into authorities. After that was over, Barnes was standing out in front of Bandittini's saloon, and he talked a few of the patrons in the saloon to come across the street with him and began drinking at another establishment across the street. There's currently nothing. There's an old gas station across the street from the hotel here now. There's no trace of whatever that bar was that was there, but that really made Bandittini angry that now he was stealing all his customers. So Bandittini went, retrieved his pistol, and came out and began shooting at William Barnes. As he was advancing on Barnes, Barnes was trying to protect himself with a chair. He had ended up hitting Barnes three times. It's conjecture whether he's hit 2 or 3 times already. Once in the shoulder, once in the neck, barely missing his jugular vein, and one of them just grazed his head. Well, when Bandittini got to where Barnes was at, he grabbed the chair and pulled it away from him, and Barnes told him, "Don't murder me." And Bandittini replied with, "That is exactly what I intend to do." And he shot him once more in the forearm, in the right forearm. Well, the shot he took to the forearm ended up paralyzing him, paralyzing that arm. So due to the fact that he could no longer use his right arm, he lost his employment, lost his job. Well, March 5th, 1906, Bandittini was in court. He pled insanity to the charges of attempted murder. And his lawyer blamed his client's actions on the fact that he'd been hit in the head, that he wasn't in his right mind, and that's why he shot at Barnes. The first trial ended in a mistrial. When the second trial was scheduled, Barnes was nowhere to be found. He was their main witness, main complainant, didn't show up. So the judge issued a bench warrant. The court officer went looking for Barnes, couldn't find him. The judge chose, well, since the complainant against you is not here, can't be found, drop the charges against Bandittini. Bandittini was free to go. And through all this, Barnes ended up getting a job as a caretaker for a local gun club. There used to be gun clubs all around this area, duck hunting clubs. He got a job working for a gun club, making way less than what he was making before. I don't know what he was doing before, but he was making way more money doing that. So, fast forward another 21 years, December 20th, 1927. and on the corner of 19th and M Street in Bakersfield. Everybody's out doing their Christmas shopping. Bandittini is there. He just stepped out of a store, one arm full of packages. You know, I assume they're Christmas presents for his family. He had 2 daughters at the time, and the other arm he was holding his overcoat. Well, who should be out on the sidewalk but William Barnes? William Barnes confronted him and told him, I guess they exchanged words. William Barnes told him to pull your gun. Well, I don't know whether or not Bandittini was armed. Sources say that he carried a gun at all times. There was nothing in the articles saying one way or another whether he was armed or not. But Barnes went ahead and pulled the trigger. He hit Bandittini twice. He hit him once in the chest, pierced his heart, hit him once in the back as he was falling. He used a .38 revolver that he had borrowed from the gun club that he worked for. After Bandittini fell to the ground, still clutching his packages, the sounds of Christmas shoppers all around him, downtown Bakersfield, busy Christmas season, so there was probably a lot of witnesses. This took place at about 3:30 in the afternoon. Barnes stood there over the body until the police showed up. About 10 minutes later, the police showed up. He handed the weapon to the police, turned himself in, and went with them down to the police station. And at the time, I read in one of the articles that his brother, Jay Barnes, was in fact a Bakersfield police officer at the time. So it goes to court, and he is charged with murder, first-degree murder, which is death penalty. So he's facing the death penalty with a charge of first-degree murder, and his defense was he did it in self-defense. He claims that he was speaking with Bandittini. Bandittini made a motion towards his pocket as if he was going to retrieve a gun, and that's when he shot him. The jury ended up finding him not guilty on all charges, and he was released. And on February 17th, 1928, he was released, found not guilty. Now, Alessandro Bandittini is buried in the Italian cemetery in Colma, California, with his wife, Marguerite, who is the woman who ordered the casket for Samuel McCullough, and his daughters, Hazel and Patricia. And they're all buried there. I could find no record of where William Barnes was buried, but I've read in several articles that William Barnes was the first white child born in Kern County. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, it could be. Anyway, thanks for watching. I just thought that was a really interesting trip down the Kern County history rabbit hole.